Well, yeah, certainly. I mean, it was our fault. We made a mistake. Spotter said it was clear. It wasn't clear, and, you know, I didn't want to tear my car up, tear his car up either. I respect everybody, and I demand respect. And, you know, I apologized to the guy when he came over the car, explained to him what happened, and then he took it to another level when he started calling me an idiot and whatever else. And I don't appreciate that. I'm not going to take it. I told him how I felt. I called him out. He didn't show. You know, and so, you know, I'm good with it if he's good with it, but I'm not going to be disrespected by no means.
Yeah, I guess I had a dinner date at Applebee's last night that I didn't find out until it was too late. It's a shame. Love their riblets and boneless wings, but...
All right, folks. Welcome back to Meet Me at Applebee's, your number one unrefined motorsports podcast. It's Brian here with Rob and Ashley, and we have the Watkins Glen Mud Bog to catch up on this week. So, folks, how are we doing this week?
Doing pretty good. I'm very tired. Very busy weekend, but it was a good one. Definitely a good one up at Claremont, and got some other shit in and got to watch a bunch of racing. And now we gather here today for Kaden Honeycutt Appreciation Hour. And also joining us on the show today is Ashley Truelove. How you doing, Truelove?
Good. Why the introduction?
I don't know. Just trying some shit out.
Yeah. I'm also tired. We were just doing a little jean tank top shopping.
Yep.
Listening to 38 Special before we started.
Yeah, that's right. By the way, this won't come up in the show, but since we were just talking about it, 38 Special is playing at Charlotte coming up here for Coke 600 weekend. Further proof that the folks at SMI and NASCAR truly do have their finger on the pulse of what's popular with the youth of America.
Yeah, go check them out. They'll be wearing their wives' finest wigs.
Yes. No disrespect to 38 Special, but I don't think any of the guys in that band are actually in 38 Special anymore, so some disrespect.
Well, speaking of disrespect, NASCAR moved Watkins Glen's date traditionally from late August up to the second weekend of March, Mother's Day weekend, which was just a complete flop. So much so that before cars even hit the track, they announced that the date would be moved back to September and take part in the chase in 2027. So, I mean, this was warned by everybody ahead of time that, you know, yes, it was warm enough to race, and, you know, that's fine, but the problem with running this date at this time of year is that the Northeast is just barely getting out of winter. You know, Rob and I are both, you know, I'm technically in the Northeast. Rob is very much in the Northeast. And, you know, it's still rainy and shitty a lot here. And the ground was still incredibly saturated. It had rained a bunch, you know, leading up to the weekend. Campers were unable to park in most of the camp lots. It was a complete mud bog. You know, drivers were getting their rental cars stuck. Everybody, all the fans and stuff, people had to wear boots and shit. Like, it was just not the time of year, especially when the majority of your attendees are there to camp and enjoy the outdoors and enjoy the weekend. Like, it was a horrible idea, and the now departed Juice Hamilton apparently was an Ithaca native at one point. He's like, oh, sometimes it's in the 70s. You fucking idiot. Like, what are you thinking? Like, no. This was a complete failure. I'm glad I didn't make the effort because for all accounts, it just sounded like a complete mess in the parking lots. Everybody had to get towed, and it was just chaos. So very unfortunate that happened. But the racing did happen. There were 4 races this weekend, including ARCA to start off, and I didn't watch a second of the ARCA race. I don't know if you guys did, but
I watched the highlights.
How were they, Truelove?
Pretty boring. Max Reeves was on the pole. The only notable highlight that I saw was on lap 13. There was a car just driving around with its hood up in front of the leaders, and that was Bobby Dale Earnhardt. So
nice.
I did see that. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, there are your highlights from the ARCA race.
Yeah, Kaden Honeycutt picking up his first of several wins this weekend, which is fucking crazy to say. Not that we don't have any faith in Kaden Honeycutt to bring trophies home, but I don't think we ever expected the run that he went on this weekend. Obviously, we'll talk more about that as the show unfolds.
No, definitely not. But, moving into the second race of Friday was the Truck Series, and this was another one. So I don't think I made a mention of the notes, but it was a bad day for the ladies who were in the race or trying to make the race. So qualifying got canceled, and this led to Destiny Spurlock and Tony Breidinger not making the race. They were the only two trucks to go home. I think Destiny was fast enough to qualify, but because of the point situation, because they did practice, but because of the points, she didn't make the race. However, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say she will be trying again this weekend at Dover.
Yes.
So.
However, Natalie Decker did make the race, and she also had a horrible time. I don't even know if she made a full lap. Like, apparently there was something wrong with her truck, and she was, black flagged for not maintaining speed, which is not a great look for anybody. So, yeah, she did not have a good day also. But the reason why the other two women didn't make it, because there were a couple ringers, Connor Zilich, SVG, Chastain. I feel like there were Allmendinger was in it. So yeah, I mean, there were a handful of guys that were, you would think one of them would have dominated the race, but that wasn't really the case. I think Zilich was up there for a bit, and Chastain, he was up there too for a while. But even though it was a surprise, but also I guess not a surprise based on the race prior, but Kaden Honeycutt got his first Truck Series win.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I mean, it's a surprise because of the competitors in the field, but I think at the end I want to say he had a tire advantage maybe. Yeah. I know he had a good restart too, I think. But
yeah, there was a overtime restart. Zilich was leading up to that point. I think he was going to win, and then there was a late restart, and Honeycutt just got a better jump.
That's right. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So yeah, good for him. Now this is where we get to the embarrassing stuff. So on Twitter earlier this season, he proclaimed that once he finally gets his first win, he's going to go into the crowd and shotgun a beer with the fans. Fortunately, he didn't actually make it into the crowd itself. I think there was issues with the gate, and then the flag man was like, "Come up here to the flag stand," and Kaden didn't want to risk that, so he didn't. And then he performed a very shitty shotgun, his first of a couple awful shotguns that he performed. But to his credit, on Door Bumper Clear, he did talk about how he's not really much of a drinker, and I don't think he said it, but I don't think he'd ever even shotgunned a beer before. So
yeah, that was pretty obvious.
Yeah, well, give him a little leeway there. I mean, if that's your most embarrassing thing to talk about all weekend is fucking not doing a good shotgun, then you're having a good weekend. So
yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, good to see him win. I mean, we all knew it was coming. I just, again, even though he won the ARC race, I was definitely not expecting the win to come on Friday. But good for him. He's definitely probably going to win the title this year. I don't really know, other than Lane Riggs would be his main competition. But
Brent Cruz ain't full time, right?
No. He's now that he's old enough for qualified, he's full time in
He's a big boy
Busch,
now.
so.
That's right. Yeah. My God, they grow up so fast.
I only got to watch the truck highlights, so they didn't show the shotgun in the highlights. I did see a clip of it, but they did play his radio as he's crossing the finish line and screaming hysterically like a girl. It was an octave that I didn't know he could hit, but I recommend going to the truck highlights and fast forward to the end and listening to that.
Also, what was the squirrel curse living on? What did I miss there?
Yeah,
Pest control.
Yeah, the beginning of stage 2, Cole Butcher got taken out by Grant Enfinger, so
Oh, okay. All right.
Squirrel,
Well,
Squirrel Curse lives on.
Yeah.
Also, a
Nice.
sad day for my boy, Slint Biscuit. He dukes a hazard through the grass at one point and destroyed his truck. So,
poor guy.
What a shame.
that's my only truck notes.
Slimped it back to pit road and retired. The
So yeah,
trucks.
moving on to Saturday, the O'Reilly's race. Again, we figured this would be SVG and Zilich show, and it kind of was. SVG, I think he got a top 10. I don't know what exactly happened to him running up front. I mean, I know he was battling with Connor for a while.
Yeah, they got into it together on pit road, and he got some damage.
That's right. I remember now. There was a point where Sheldon Creed did a good Justin Haley impression, digging the front end of his car into the ground and flying up in the air, coming out of the bus stop. That shit canned his day. I was not paying incredibly close attention to the end of the race because I went to the dog park with the boys. But I did watch on my phone, and I forget what happened to Zilich to where he had to make up a bunch of ground on Jesse Love. But Jesse Love had the lead up until the very last corner when he completely botched the last turn and gave the win to Zilich.
It was a speeding penalty, wasn't it?
No, they were on different pit strategies. So
Oh, it was a strategy, yeah.
Zilich had pitted and had all the fuel he needed, and Jesse and Austin Hill were staying out long and risking it on fuel mileage.
Yeah, that was about the time I tuned in on MRN or NRN or whatever it's called now, the NASCAR.
Yeah, NASCAR Radio
race-
Network.
Yeah.
So yeah, not a surprise to see Zilich win. I mean, I guess obviously the way he did it was exciting.
Surprise to Jesse Love.
Yeah, definitely surprised to Jesse. Zilich managed to stay safe. He climbed out of the
PP
roof of the
yellow
car.
jockey
Yeah.
car.
Piss missile in Victory Lane.
Piss Missile made it to Victory Lane.
And they
He
brought
was,
the couch cushion over from his RV to put underneath there, which I thought was appropriate.
Yep.
It looked like a dog bed.
Could have been a dog bed.
But then after the celebration, we go to Jesse Love, who is in tears after losing at Watkins Glen to his best friend, who is one of the best road course racers
For
in
the
the entire
48th
series.
time in his career.
He talked about how hasn't been traumatized too much in life, but like this was like the worst thing that ever happened to him. It's like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, you need to go to therapy. Like I talked about this, like the YouTube series, the Young Guns series, whatever they did last year. Like, it definitely seemed like he went through some shit with his parents in childhood, as far as like kind of being pushed really hard into racing and having to move across country and leave his family and stuff. And now we get all these interviews where he's trying to throw out all these 50-cent words and just trying to sound smarter than he is. And now he's crying over losing a race to his best friend. Like, dude, go to fucking therapy,
And
man.
now he's
You
getting
need some
shit
help.
on prominent racing podcasts.
Like he's a great driver and he's gonna do great things in the sport, but like, man, you are.
He's
not,
already getting cup rides,
I know, but
he's one of the 3 or 4 guys that I know there's pressure. I've never felt pressure that like what I assume he's feeling, but take a breath. What is
Fucking Watkins Glen. I mean,
Yeah, what is Breasttree is one of Austin Dillon's sponsors, right? That's like a COPD breathing medication.
Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe he
Sure.
should get into the old RCR cabinet and get a couple sprays of that into his lungs and just take a nice deep breath and give yourself some credit a little bit.
Yeah, like for a guy who's doing so well, he seems like he's almost never having fun, and he's so hard on himself when anything goes even a little bit wrong. And like, man, you got a long career ahead of you. You're gonna have to fucking figure this out because it's not the end of the world when you lose to your best friend. I know it's what you wanted to do more than anything, but I mean, just fucking relax.
One other note I had, something cool that was revealed after Connor won was our buddy Ryan Williams, who designs all of the T-shirts for Junior Motorsports, revealed that he had hidden an X-ray of Connor Zilich's broken collarbone in one of the T-shirts he designed this year.
Yeah,
so
that was very cool.
pretty
very
neat.
Cool.
Zilich confirmed it with a actual picture of his X-ray. So
Yep.
Might have to pick that up.
yep. One other thing that I forgot to mention about the truck race. Congrats to our friend Kyle Ayala.
Yes.
He was working on SVG's truck this weekend, and they finished third. So congrats to him. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's big time stuff right
And
there.
he said he's going to be pitting this weekend in Dover, so that'll be cool. Hopefully, get to
Very
see it on
cool.
TV.
Yeah, we love Kyle. Y'all know that, and it's always good to
Yes.
see the boy do well out there. And I think they're probably going to end up making a diecast for this one, so you can go pick up Kyle's handiwork in small form at your local Lionel outlet in 6 to 10 months.
He put a lot of fucking work in that truck. So
Absolutely. I'll be buying one.
do we want to talk about Love's crew chief, or we want to skip over that?
No. Well, I mean, we can.
I don't care either way.
The NASCAR wives and girlfriends Reddit is not something I wade into too often. But yeah, if you want to see some RCR drama, there's a little bit floating around in there, and maybe the bad vibes are seeping into Jesse's brain a little bit. So just leave it at that, I guess.
The RCR toxicity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a fair way to put it. So yeah, moving on to Sunday. Truelove with the grid walk report. Let's hear it.
Oh, this is just real quick. There was a part that made me laugh when Mikey was talking to Christopher Bell, and he called it the butt stop. So that's the grid walk report.
That
You
is
just really want to talk about butts with Bell.
front runner for episode title. Let's
So, what paint schemes are we referring to in the notes that Fox never showed us? Because
Well, I
can't
really
recall.
loved the Brad Keselowski Modelo scheme. That
yeah,
thing was perfect.
that was a fucking
Yes,
beautiful car
that
right
was-
there.
that was
Yeah,
great looking
didn't
car.
really see much of it on TV. And also, Gregson had a great Long John Silver's Frank's Red Hot Buffalo Shrimp scheme. And you know I love a shrimp scheme.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's Noah's fault that didn't make it on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. The race itself, this was pretty much exactly what we all figured it would be. It was the SVG show. I mean, yeah, there were a couple times when he wasn't leading due to pit stops and whatnot, but I mean, he pretty much had the field covered from the start. I mean, he started on the pole. One of the only cautions that we had was for a tent flying on the track.
Turning point of the race.
Which that was pretty funny to see. There should have been a couple more cautions, especially when Cody Ware almost took out half the wall with 9 or 10 to go. But didn't. Not only was there no caution, we barely even fucking saw it on TV.
That's
They showed
the
like,
first time that's happened to old Cody Ware at a road course. Remember Chicago when he got all fucked up?
well, yeah, that
No
was.
one noticed.
Throttle?
Yeah,
Took him 3
Well,
business days to throw the
he was so
caution for that?
buried in the goddamn tires that nobody
He was
noticed.
fine. Yeah.
And yeah, Fox's coverage was again just the paint schemes we mentioned, but just absolute dog shit coverage. And I think this is their last weekend finally, so
on the
it's
prime.
over. It's over. But yeah, as mentioned, again, it was the SVG show, but it finally got interesting in stage 3 when Joey Logano brought out a caution with about 36-ish to go, which is right around their pit window as far as like when they could actually make it to the very end of the race. At this point, like SVG and Reddick stayed out along with McDowell and a handful of other cars, and I was a little confused, like why don't they just come with everybody else? I mean, if everybody's gonna be saving fuel, they'll keep their positions and all that. But what SVG wanted to do was just fucking go out, gain 7-8 seconds on the field with his current tire setup. Then he pitted and then made up 30 seconds in 16 laps, 15 laps, or whatever it was.
Fucking around out there, this guy.
He was running laps 3 seconds faster than everybody else. And you know, when he got back on the track, they initially said, well, based on where he's going to, you know, how it's going to work out with speed and everything, he'll probably catch, you know, I think Gibbs and Zilich were up front. He's like, well, I'll probably catch him with like 2 or 3 to go. He caught him with 7 or 8 to go.
There's plenty of time left.
Yeah, and then proceeded to you know, gain another 7 seconds on the rest of the field. Zilich ended up getting 20th because he kept locking up his right front wheel, and eventually that went flat. McDowell, Reddick, all those guys that stayed out with SVG, they made their way back up through the field too. So the strategy worked. They just weren't anywhere near what SVG was as far as speed was concerned.
No. But yeah, I went upstairs for like, what was maybe 2 minutes, and he wasn't in the lead. I take a piss, pet the cats, whatever it is I did upstairs, and then came back down, and SVG already had like 2 seconds on the field. And like, well, I guess we're done.
I like that Mike Joy called the white flag a mercy flag for the rest of the field.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Totally fair.
It's absolutely what it was.
Yeah.
Shockingly, both RCR cars got top 10s. Who would have ever predicted that?
First of the year for Kyle Busch.
No, it was first for Austin Dillon. Kyle got a top 5 somewhere else, so it wasn't his first, but first for Austin.
He was also on his radio sick, requesting the Hendrick medical doctor meet him in his bus after the race for a shot.
Get some
Didn't
Zyrtec.
clarify a shot of what, but
Yeah.
I think
Jack Daniels.
I think they said he was having some sort of sinus problems or something, so either cold or allergy related.
Spring New England pollen will get you if you're not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
These guys have never been exposed to that because they've never raced in fucking Watkins Glen in May before.
But yeah, it was exactly what we all thought it would be. Good on SVG, whipping everybody's ass. It was very cool to see him make that climb because it was a boring ass race otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Also, congrats to our buddy Ross. This is his first win with the team. So, some great videos and photos of him chugging champagne in Victory Lane. So
That's very cool.
He had a great time.
Yeah, all them boys out there who made it happen were fed courtesy of that man right there.
Yep.
So he deserves to be up in that victory lane.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
That's right. At Applebee's. Is that an Applebee's slogan? Eating good in the neighborhood?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, nice.
I think so.
It is now.
This is going to be our final fantasy league roundup for a couple weeks since we're off this weekend for the All-Star race. So, Truelove, take it away.
Thank God.
I feel pretty good.
So Watkins Glen, our big winner this week was Golden Corral Mafia, who we all know is Garfield's Feet's husband. Second was Jehovah, and third was Panjo. Then we had Brian in 5th, Rob in 8th, and me in whopping 22nd.
Yeah.
My worst of the season so far, I believe.
Yeah, you're back there in the tire barrier with Cody Ware. I was in the lead for a little bit, but I think when Shane retook the lead, it changed things for me. But still,
When McDowell
yeah,
passed Gibbs or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so the overall standings now are shaking up a little bit. Flavortown McLeod's still leading, but Brian has moved up 2 spots to 2nd. So
Damn, girl.
pretty impressive. Little Michael's dropped 1 spot to 3rd. Chris Davis drops another spot to 4th. Rob has moved up 2 spots to 10th, and I'm now the worst on the podcast, dropping 3 spots to 11th.
Oof.
But only 1 point behind Rob, so
Yeah, well,
I haven't given up hope yet.
we'll figure out a way to fuck it up over here in my corner of town.
I'm just top 5 my way to the top over here.
Yep.
So
Chipping away. So yeah, I'm glad that there's no fantasy this week.
I'm a little hurt by that because things are finally starting to turn around in Rob's country over here, and now the real races are back, and that's where I really fuck things up. So I'm looking forward to a 28th place finish at the Coke 600.
all right, well, moving on to general notes. Not a whole lot of NASCAR news this week. Ryan Blaney and somewhat surprisingly Ricky Stenhouse both extended their deals with their teams. I say surprising with Stenhouse because I'd heard rumors that Hayek was going out of business or selling their charter or whatever, so I guess that's not happening. So, yeah, Priest continues to be fucked.
Yeah. I think that's the real big wrinkle out of Stenhouse extending and that team staying open. Not that I want to see a team close, but there's nothing for sale, but there's nothing available out there. Blaney re-signing is no surprise. Where the fuck else would he go? Like, there's no reason for him to leave that team.
I see that Ram announced their Charlotte driver. I missed it. Who is it?
They announced Travis Pastrana for that ride.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so they're finally starting to get exciting picks again with him and McMurray and Boyer after a few flops.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
The 6 weeks of Ty Dillon that we.
let's be honest. I wouldn't expect a win out of Pastrana, but I mean, at least.
None of these guys are going to win, but they're at least
Yeah, they're driving Ram trucks. They're not going to win this year.
Hey,
keep it clean.
Dinger did well. I wasn't really surprised to see him do well, but I mean, he did well in the truck. Also, too, failed to mention this in the post-race interview Sunday. Justin Marks, the Project 91 deal was brought up, and he just said, "Stay tuned." There's a lot of rumors. I think there's a lot of hope that they'll get Verstappen to come over and run San Diego or whatever, which I don't see that happening. It would be very cool, but interested to see who they get in that car for San Diego.
Joy, San Diego. Project 91.
No, this is my category here, even though it's IndyCar. So IndyCar had to cancel a T-shirt order last week. So they had a very, very well done, very well thought out AI T-shirt that just said, what the hell did it say?
So it was it was an image of a guy in a fire suit and a helmet, a race car driver sitting on what I assume was supposed to be the Lincoln Memorial. Very clearly AI generated because there was a third leg of the suit hanging out from underneath the guy. Of course, all real IndyCar fans know that's the piss vent. But it said, "One nation, one race" on the shirt.
Yeah.
And that got pulled down with the quickness.
Yeah, I don't know how that, whatever channels that had to go through, I don't know how it made it through, but Jesus Christ, what a bad PR move to put that out.
Yeah, so there'll be a bunch of children in Liberia wearing the most racist looking T-shirt you've ever seen in your life.
Which I know for a fact that like somebody's making bootlegs of those, so don't be shocked to see those in DC floating around.
Yeah, sadly I didn't get my order in time to put it in the collection of banned shirts, but it is what it is. I'm sure they'll come up with something else. They did also make a really shitty rendering of a hat with a patch on it that looks like it'd be for sale in a gift shop at the Smithsonian. That's almost more embarrassing because the design is so uninspired and crappy, but you can still buy that one. Not as special as this one was.
It's got less racism on it.
Yeah. But speaking of IndyCar, oh my God, the month of May is here, folks. And practice opened up at the Speedway today, which was nice to see. I had that on in the background at work all day. Alex Palou, unfortunately, as everyone expected, top of the board so far, the 225.9. Again, it's day one, so everyone's just kind of figuring their shit out. And we'll see speeds rise as the week progresses towards qualifying this weekend. And also, we'll see kind of who's got pace and all that. It takes the whole week to put it together. And we'll talk about it next week for sure. Highest no-toe speed came from Kyle Kirkwood, 222.06, which is pretty good. Also, Fox rolling out some extra content in case there's rain delays. The first of these being a documentary about Bobby Rahal and his Indy 500 win back in 1986. It's super well done. There's not a lot of great IndyCar documentaries out there, especially about the past. unless you go to like, there's good ones out there made by like, NASCAR Man, Slap Shoes, guys like that. But you don't really see a lot of quality documentaries about eras past for IndyCar like you do for NASCAR. And that's one of the good things that Fox has done. Fox does generally put together some pretty good pieces and documentaries with the NASCAR side of things. And they're starting to do that with Fox. This Bobby Rahal one and the story of him and Jim Truman coming together and winning that 500 just days before Jim Truman passing away from cancer. It's incredible. I highly recommend you seek out some time to watch this. It's all over Fox right now. Basically, it's the new Dale Earnhardt documentary that has been on Fox anytime it rains or there's nothing else to show. But it's super quality. I recommend watching that. And very, very excited for this weekend. Indy 500 qualifying starting on Saturday. I'm not going to see any bumping this year, but they've kind of tweaked the format to make it exciting, and it doesn't matter. I just love watching those fuckers rip around for 10 miles just to see who's got the biggest set of balls. And hopefully it's not Alex Palou, but it seems like it might be.
I did see Cole Custer hanging out there.
Yep, Cole
today,
Custer was on the grounds for some reason. Yeah. Nothing else going on a Tuesday. So he was out there. But yeah, great coverage, and I cannot wait for the rest of the week. This is one of my favorite 2-week stretches of the year. Just having Indy cars on TV at the Speedway all day is really nice. So, and I'm looking forward to being able to get rid of my Fox One subscription after the 500 wraps up. But let's see what else we got here before we start getting towards the septic tank. Oh yeah, that's right. Truelove was actually out at the racetrack this weekend, and it's she alluded to it last week, but you were at Road Atlanta. Why don't you tell us about it?
I was. This might be kind of long, so Brian, if you need to go to the bathroom or make your drinks, feel free.
Make your drinks.
So yeah, I went out to Road Atlanta for the first time this weekend, which is crazy because I live 30 minutes from it my entire life. So
That is crazy.
but yeah, we went out to the Formula Drift event back in like March. My boyfriend Andy went to Drift Appalachia to shoot photos of that, and while he was there, he got asked to drive the GRIDLIFE event at Road Atlanta this weekend, and he turned it down because he doesn't drift that much anymore, and his car needed all these safety updates and like just tons of money needed to be poured into it, and the driver's fee was a lot. And then 10 days before the event, they were like, hey, we waived your driver's fees, so you're driving in this event. So
That's cool.
it was like a mad scramble to get a new seat and new harnesses and, whatever updates the car needed and tune-ups and all that. So he spent several days rolling around on the ground getting the car fixed up. He wasn't going to tell anyone, like any of his friends, that he was driving in this because he didn't want to make a big deal out of it because he was very nervous and scared and rusty. And he just didn't want it to be a big deal. But word got out, and it became the big deal of his friend group. So
Yeah.
he ended up being like a featured driver. But
Well, it is his fault that he's a prominent and important member of the of drift history. So
Yeah.
that's on him.
kind of hard to sweep under the rug.
Yeah, should have sucked when you were younger.
Yeah. But yeah, so Formula Drift, they had GRIDLIFE running this weekend too. So GRIDLIFE was like the companion event with Formula Drift, and Formula Drift was like the main event in the evening, but GRIDLIFE would run their shit from like 8 a.m. up till Formula D every day. So they had like the Rush series, which was like these tiny little go-kart looking things that were fast as fuck. And then they had the track battle series and like a touring like wheel-to-wheel racing series, and then a time attack series, and then Andy was in the drift series. So the schedule was nonstop all weekend. But yeah, GRIDLIFE, they also do like music festivals, I guess, and they're racing at Watkins Glen in July, and then Lime Rock in August, and
Oh shit. Okay.
Laguna Seca in September. So they get around. But yeah, so we got there on Thursday in the afternoon because really we just needed to get our wristbands and parking passes and meet up with Andy's friend Austin, who is going to be like his crew member this weekend, and get his spot in the paddock. We ended up setting up in between a car from Indianapolis that was sponsored by Reef Indy, which was turned out to be an aquarium building company in Indianapolis.
Oh.
I don't know. That team had a lot of money, and it looked like the fish on the side of the car were like high as fuck. So I don't know what was really going on with that team, but they were really nice. And then on the other side was this guy named Mike from Virginia who drives his drift car to every event and has like a tire rack mounted on top and fits all of his shit that he needs for every event in his little 93 Toyota Supra. So pretty crazy.
That's cool.
And then a bunch of Andy's friends that drift too were there, lined up all down through there. So Thursday, he really just needed to go through tech, and yeah. After that, we went over to the main area where they were doing Formula Drift stuff. All of Andy's friends rent out one of the VIP tents every year that's like right in the keyhole in the track where they do all the FD stuff. So it's right next to the judge's tent. It's like prime view of, the main event and stuff. So there's like food and snacks and shit there all weekend. And Thursday they were doing like single car qualifying runs, so nothing crazy. So yeah, Thursday just kind of got in there and got set up. And then Friday we had to get back super early at 9 a.m. Andy had a driver's meeting at like 10:30, and then they had their first session on track that morning at like noon for like 15 minutes. And the way they had those series, it was just back to back to back to back to back. So if anyone fucked up, it like threw the whole schedule off and all this. And of course, in the very first drift session, they had a car catch on fire and then another one wreck on the first lap. So
Perfect.
yeah, they only got to do a couple laps there. The road Atlanta is so huge that there's just no way for me to physically get from the paddock to like a good viewing area before the session ends. So most of his short little sessions I just watched from the front stretch, which you can't see shit. You just see like turn one and the flag stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, some smoke. Friday, let's see, after the first session, his parents came to the paddock too, so that was cool to see them. They were very excited. They were very precious. They had their second session that afternoon at like 2, again, only like 10 minutes. During that first session, Andy's like still nervous, and
Yeah. What was the last time he was in a competition of any kind?
in a competition, I could not tell you. He only gets to drift even just for fun, like once a year now with the way that his touring schedule is. So,
Right. So this is like trial by fire.
yeah,
Almost, yeah.
100%. Just throwing him in to the wolves. Like, here you go on this fast as fuck, super crazy racetrack in front of everyone.
Yeah.
So, first session, he was still like, fuck, just a mess. And then the second session rolls around, and his buddy Austin, that was supposed to be his crew guy, before this, he was like, hey, man, do you need anything? Do you need any help with anything? If not, I got to go run some errands. And he leaves and runs some errands, and then he comes back, and he has somehow finagled his way into this event and registered himself to drive and didn't tell anyone and just pulls up behind Andy on the grid as they're lining up to go out. And Andy said that when he took off and saw Austin in his rear view, it was just like this wave of relief and like comfort, because him and Austin have been drifting together for like over 20 years. And, you know, he's had Austin run behind him thousands of times. So
Yeah.
just seeing someone that you're so comfortable with behind you, it really changed the whole weekend for him.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, after he got back from the second quick little session, we did a quick lap around the GRIDLIFE paddock, because there's a couple cars I saw driving by real quick that I wanted to check out a little bit more. There was a shitty old Honda painted up in the Bill Elliott golden red core scheme, and then there was a BMW painted as the Dale Wrangler Chevy. So
That's cool.
yeah. And then the third session of Friday was like they had my brain's broke. So Formula Drift, like, they were having their big events Friday night, and then the big one on Saturday night. But the GRIDLIFE Drift Series was doing like the halftime show for each Formula Drift night. So the drift guys would go out there for 30 minutes and just rip laps in the keyhole. And with Formula Drift, the way they do it, they just send out 2 cars at a time. But with GRIDLIFE, they got to send all the cars out. So you would see like 5, 6, 7 cars just out there doing their, you know, ballet dancing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, because I'm used to Formula D, and it's just a pair of them out there. But I don't know, I'm not that familiar with drifting, but I don't think I've ever seen that many on the track at the same time.
yeah, I mean, with this, with the GRIDLIFE thing, the drifting part was just for fun. Like, there wasn't any scoring or any of that. This was purely for fun and for everyone just to, you know, experience that weekend.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll definitely share some videos. But yeah, these people too, like I said, have all been drifting together for decades. So just to have a bunch of them out there. There was, you know, a couple guys that went in the gravel or went off in the mud, but for the most part, they kept it clean. And like I said, also T-Pain was there, and
Hell yeah.
Mustang convertible. I didn't get to meet T-Pain, but he was there. Friday, so yeah, they did that, and then after that, FD came out and did like, I think they were doing some kind of qualifying or something. We didn't hang out for that because we knew Saturday was going to be super long, so we went home early, but came back Saturday. Andy had his first session that morning at 10. It was like 15 minutes. And after he got back from that, so on Thursday, when we first got there and Andy was setting up, and I'm just kind of standing there, just looking around the grid or the paddock, kind of taking it all in. And I look at one of the tents that's like, I don't know, 6 or 7 cars down from us. And I see this guy, and I recognize him from TV. And I was like, holy shit, there's no fucking way. And everyone knows how much I love my TV soaps. But
Was it Chrisley?
I especially love like reality competition shows. Mm-hmm. So one of my favorites that I love watching is The Challenge on MTV.
Oh.
And I have been watching this show for as long as it's been on. And I spotted this guy Jordan that's on The Challenge. He's won like 5 championships. and he's one of my all-time favorite players because he was born without fingers on his left hand, and like the shit that he does in these challenges is absolutely insane. But I remembered that after he kind of quit doing the challenge, he started doing like IMSA racing a couple years ago. But I had no idea that he was now doing GRIDLIFE. So I was like, before this weekend ends, I have to meet this guy for my soap TV, MTV Love and Heart.
Yeah.
So on Saturday, I finally got a chance when he was scooting around the paddock looking for a hose clamp or something. But I just went up and introduced myself, and we talked about his IMSA stuff and GRIDLIFE, and he was super nice. At the end, he asked me or Bananas, and Bananas is another competitor on that show that I fucking hate. And so I said, fuck Bananas, and he was real stoked on that. So.
Straight to the source.
Yep. So got to do a little soap fangirling mixed in the racetrack. Yeah. And then after that, Andy had a second session. It was like 10 minutes. And then we finally made our way over to the Formula Drift paddock to do a lap around there. And that paddock is much more like NASCAR looking. There's so much fucking money in there. Pretty crazy. Every driver has their little merch set up, but it is very, very fan accessible. So, you don't have to have a special pass to get in there. So that was great.
Yeah, I have a buddy who did Formula Drift a few years ago, and they were definitely at the bottom of the budget pile. That's for sure. And the stories you'd hear about some of the rigs they have was, there's a lot of money in that.
Yeah. T-Pain was having, excuse me, T-Pain was having a $50 autograph signing.
Oh.
After that, we went to the Team Rowdy tent to see Andy's parents again, and we watched the FD do some tandem runs. That was my first time getting to see them do tandem runs, and it's just insane, how close they get, like the dance that they do, and he was trying to explain. Yeah, he was trying to explain to me like the technology and like the scoring sensors and stuff they use now, and it's very elaborate. I stayed at the tent while Andy went back to get ready for the final halftime show. Drank a bunch of $10 beers, which I regret spending money on, and got a couple $10 beers in me, and at this point I realized that I need to eat, but I don't really want to go stand in line at the food truck. And my friend Jen had ordered some food, and she didn't really want it, so she's like pawning it off on people. It's like rice and some loose tortilla shells. And I just know at one point a random man in Jinko jeans made me a rice tortilla taco with his bare hands. So I ate a Jinko taco, drinking my $10 beers.
So the direct, not translation, but the exchange rate is 5 beers per T-Pain autograph.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Good math there.
Thank you.
Yep. And then they had their final halftime show for another 30 minutes, and I got to watch it with Andy's parents, and that was just super special. And Andy and everyone did just so amazing, especially in that last one. So, and then after that, they did the Formula Drift main event. They bring the little cars out there, they do the anthem, they do the driver intros, then it's just like a bracket setup, and they just go 2 match by match till it narrows down to the final 2. I'm not really familiar with any of the drivers. I was pulling for Ryan Turek just because it's his final season, and he is the one that I talked about at the Chicago race last year that we got on a Chicago tour boat and randomly ran into him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But yeah, the final two cars battling were both RTR cars, teammates. It was Vaughn Gittin Jr. versus James Dean. And after they do their final battle, they bring both cars and park them on right out there on the racetrack, and then the judges announce the winner live. So it's cool to get to see them, find out, to see Vaughn Gittin Jr. find out in real time that he won.
That's cool.
Let's see. Another note I had was in the Team Rowdy tent that we were in, it's Saturday, it's the big day, so a few of the people will bring their kids because, kids like race cars. But these kids were all more interested in the muddy earth than they were the race cars.
They would have loved Watkins Glen.
They would have fucking loved it because these kids were digging a hole to China. They dug a massive hole down right at the fence, and I watched multiple adults who were not paying attention step right into that 2-foot deep hole, and they were absolutely filthy too. They were just covered head to toe. I don't know how these parents got them home. Yeah. One came up and went to give me a fist bump, and I was like, I regret this immediately because his whole little grubby paw was covered in mud.
What is it with kids and digging holes? We've all done it.
We've all done it. Yeah. And then by the end of the night, the glow sticks come out. So then these kids just have hundreds and hundreds of glow sticks running around. So they were the entertainment in between the rounds. But yeah, the crowd was great. I mean, it was absolutely packed on Saturday. And the fans, they get really into it. They make signs. If the judges make a call that they don't like, everyone boos them. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely a great energy there. And then the spot where they do the podium and hand out the trophies and do the champagne is just right in the middle of the fan zone. So it's, again, just great access for fans.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so Saturday, we probably left around midnight, but it was just such an incredible weekend. It was probably one of my favorite weekends of me and Andy's entire relationship, just the whole experience, start to finish. Everything about the drift world is all new to me since I started dating him, but I absolutely love his drifting family. There's no bad apples in it. He has just the most amazing friends, and most of these people he's been friends with for 20 plus years. And it's just based off doing silly things with cars. I know I've talked about it a little bit, but Andy's background in drifting. In 2001, he graduated college, and his gift from his parents for graduating college was a 2001 BMW 325. And 3 years later, he took this brand new car and gutted it down to a race car, put a roll cage in it, and 2004 went to the very first FT event as a fan at Road Atlanta and decided right then and there that the next year he was going to do that. So gutted his car. 2005, he ran the full Formula Drift season by himself, hauled that car to every single, track on the schedule, drove it all the way out to Irwindale all alone. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so.
Man.
And then in 2006 and 2007, he did select dates on the East Coast. And then he said that like 2008, 9, 10 is when FD started changing a lot and requiring people to have like a certain amount of FD points and blah, blah, blah to qualify. So I think during those years he was running the NOP Pro Series instead. But to like have this history with that car there and then to bring this exact same car back to Road Atlanta to the FD weekend.
That was my next question. It was the same car.
21 years later, you know, it still has a stock motor in it. Like,
No shit.
the horsepower, like, is so much lower than any other car that's running there. Like, he has, like, 180 horsepower in this thing. And some of those pro guys have, like, 600 plus or whatever. But, yeah, it was just really cool to see people in the paddock, like, walk by his car and, like, recognize it and then look up and see him and be like, holy shit. Or, like, vice versa.
Yeah.
See him and they'd be like, oh, man, what are you doing here? Like, you're still drifting? And then they'll look over and see the car and, like, put two and two together, like, holy shit, you're still here with that same fucking car, and just to, like, see their minds be blown in real time.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. Like, Andy's too humble to say it, but anyone in that community will tell you that he's such a crucial part of, like, the early days of, like, grassroots drifting in America. And, like, so many of the people at this event got into drifting, 20 years ago because of him. So, hold on, I'm talking too much. I need a drink of, what is this? Zero Dr. Pepper cream soda.
Oh, nice. But yeah, that's incredible, man.
Yeah. Yeah, there was, at one point we were walking through I think the FD paddock, and we're kind of walking by this guy, and he comes up and he's like, hey, are you Andy Sapp? And he's like, yeah, man. And he's like, I just want to tell you that when I was in high school, I did a school report on drifting, and I watched your videos over and over and over and over again to put that school report together. So it was just really cool to just see it in person. There's a couple documentaries if you want to learn more about Andy or, the early grassroots drifting. In 2006, Andy directed a documentary called Slide America. Mm-hmm. And then in 2012, there was a documentary by Andy's best friend, Will, called Keep Drifting Fun. That's like a cult classic in the drifting world. And Andy's like one of the main characters in this documentary, and of course this BMW. So, but yeah, just such a special weekend on so many fronts, and there was just so much love and excitement towards Andy being back in a drift car at this track, and just seeing the joy that it brought everyone. And there was lots of happy tears and emotions and laughs, and
yeah.
So yeah, very special, and cool for me to finally see some pro drifting too in person. So
that was your first Formula Drift event? It
was my first, yeah. Because normally every time they come to Road Atlanta, he's on tour. So
right. Yeah.
Yeah, he told me going into this weekend, he's like, just so you know, every time I've run at this track, I am notoriously unlucky. So he's like, maybe don't get your hopes up. But literally, as soon as we got there on Thursday, a bird shit on his car, and I was like, that's good luck. Yeah. And it ended up being great luck because he ran amazing all weekend. So
I just realized that my buddy is in Keep Drifting Fun. Dan
no
Brockett.
Fucking way.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yeah, Whiskey Garage, wow. Yeah.
Wow. I'll have to tell Andy that. I'm sure that will blow his mind.
Yeah. What a small world.
Very small world. But yeah, FD's going to Orlando next, and then Stafford in June, and then Indy in July. So
yeah, I'm thinking of hitting up the Stafford event. That's a pretty light lift for me.
Yeah.
Is Andy getting behind the wheel at all again? Has he got the itch again?
I mean, he definitely has the itch again. He said that he will do whatever it takes going forward to make sure that he never misses this event again.
Yeah.
But the touring schedule, summer's coming
course.
up, so that's definitely ramping up for the rest of the year. So.
Well, that's really special. That whole story warms my heart. That is what it's all about,
Yeah. Yeah, Andy had this wild, insane life way before I met him for decades, so I love getting to see glimpses into it. So, but yeah, Formula Drift was great. Highly recommend. Road Atlanta was cool too. I didn't get to see the full track because there's just so much fucking walking.
It's big.
Yeah, need a golf cart. But,
I've said this on the show before, but shout out to the drifting community for helping to keep grassroots motorsports alive in the United States. You hear about it. Every short track around here has a drifting program now. It's a little easier to get into than, say, racing street stocks or modifieds or whatever the fuck it is. And these guys are really, really doing a lot to keep the thing we love afloat and saving some racetracks while they're at it. So mad respect to that whole community.
Yeah. A whole bunch of great people, good people. And the pros are insane at what they do.
Yeah.
It truly is an art form.
Well, shit.
Yeah, that was my Road Atlanta. Now we can go in the septic tank.
Yeah. Well, before we get in the septic tank, we got to handle our dart for the week here. I did have one picked out that I didn't realize that Brian had debunked this one as being a bot, essentially.
Oh, no.
So we're not going to do that one. But
That's too bad.
yeah, but
Which one was this?
it was the guy who was talking shit to Dale Jr. and Dale Jr. took the bait.
Oh yeah, that's my old pal,
Yeah.
Jason from Texas, one of his various
Yeah,
aliases.
so we're not going to put a light on that, but we are going to put a light on this one because this cracked me up. A typo doesn't necessarily make you a DARF, but this week it does. Once again, coming from a NASCAR camping group, this time from my stomping grounds, the New Hampshire Motor Speedway Camping and Tailgating Group. This guy, Bradley James Grafton, says, and you can tell what he meant to say, but he said, 3 mouths in 1 week till move-in day, but who is counting? And, of course, the comment section was... as you would expect. And it's 3 months until you can put your camper at Loudon. That's what he meant to say. But who knows? Maybe he didn't mean to say that. Maybe it is 3 mouths, and that's how he does math. So no punishment this week. I just hope you find the mouths you're looking for.
That's how he affords that camping spot.
Yeah. Really, I'm looking forward to Loudon this year. And hopefully I'll actually get to camp. I don't think it's going to work out that way, but Claremont is smart enough to not schedule anything on that weekend because they know there'd be 3 people on the property and me filming it. So that's not what you want. But that's as good as a way to jump into the septic tank as any. Mother Nature really won this weekend. I feel like for every event I mentioned last week, maybe 1 in 3 actually went off. So we'll just start with the ones that did happen, or at least let's start with sprint cars. How about that? High Limit was at Kokomo for the Brian Clausen Memorial. Friday, of course, rained out. But Aaron Reitzel, who just picked up a win at Fremont, just up the road from Brian's house in the All-Star Circuit of Champions race, he also picked up a big Saturday night win and now has a 9-point lead over Tanner Thorson in the High Limit points. Rico Abers in third. World of Outlaws were at the Grove for the Morgan Cup. Massive amounts of FOMO coming from me. Of course, I went to the Morgan Cup last year. It was a killer time, but obviously work and other obligations kept me from making the haul down to Pennsylvania. Dirt Vision has this new timing and scoring function that you can put up on a TV that is so fucking badass. Like, I've never seen this much data for a sprint car race before.
Looks very elaborate.
It's very elaborate, and I'm not going to say it's unnecessary for some of these events, but when we get to the Knoxville Nationals or the Kings Royal with those wacky formats, this is an absolute game changer. So y'all better get your asses on down to Walmart or Costco and get you a $79 TV for these big events so you can know what the fuck is going on. And Dirt Vision, once again, leading the way and kind of innovating what coverage looks like. I haven't seen anything like this, especially this in-depth before in short track coverage. But enough of the nerd shit. Let's talk about what everybody wants to talk about here.
Yes.
Truelove's been ringing the siren a lot lately, haven't you? And Friday night at Williams Grove, I don't know if you ring the siren for Kasey Kahne, but he gave you good reason to.
Blasting Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. Picking up his first career World of Outlaws win in the Mackberry family 39M. I don't think anyone saw that coming.
Freaking Kasey Kahne.
Yeah. On the porch out in Pennsylvania, and he whooped their asses. There's no question about it. I missed that race, unfortunately. I was actually at a hotel room in Claremont with my buddy, burning my hands on a slice of Domino's pizza. You ever picked up a slice of pizza that's so hot in the bottom that it actually leaves little marks on your fingertips, but you can actually eat it because the cheese is cooler? Ask me about it. I can't explain it. It happened to me, though. I did make it home on Saturday in time to watch David Gravel become your 2026 Morgan Cup champion. He picks up a win over Justin Whittle. Justin had a little bit in the tank at the end of that, but not enough to catch David Gravel. And, of course, David Gravel is still your points leader. Over on
Not
the
as
dirt.
cool as Kasey Kahne.
Yeah, not as cool as Kasey Kahne, I can tell you that.
28 years in the making.
Yeah, all he had to do was stop driving his own shit to win races, turns out. But he's got more on the way. He's going to be driving the 39M for PA Speed Weeks. We talked about that before. And, yeah, definitely he's bumped his price in Dirt Draft up a little bit, I would say, based on the performances. He was great on Saturday night, too. I think he ended up definitely made the show. And I think he got a top 10 out of the deal. Probably a little better than that. But, yeah, Kasey Kahne.
It wasn't a Friday. He needs to only run on Fridays.
Yeah, Fridays only for Kasey Kahne. But yeah, Kasey will be back in about a week and a half, I think, for PA Speed Weeks, and you'll hear all about it here in the Septic Tank. Over in the dirt late model world, if you were Rain or Brandon Shepard, you had a good weekend. Otherwise, you're kind of shit out of luck. The Flow Racing Night in America Series didn't go all that well. LaSalle and Lincoln both rained out. But Brandon Shepard did pick up a win at Spoon River. Carson Hocevar, of course, getting to run a dirt late model. It's supposed to be this entire series, but the rain screwed 2 of the 3 chances, and the rest of the field screwed him out of the 3rd. He got his ass whooped. Did not make the A-main, but he's a good sport about it, and you'll see him at the rest of the Flow Racing Night of America events as the year progresses. In Lucas Oil competition, they were supposed to be in Farmers City, but guess what? That got rained out, too. And then Brandon Shepard won at Fairbury. So, again, great weekend to be Brandon Shepard or somebody with a raincoat, because you definitely needed it. Now, we talked about Kaden Honeycutt earlier in the show. Of course, he picked up the ARCA win and the truck win, but he wasn't done yet, folks. Fuck no. He went down to Ace and run both Cars Tour events. And I didn't watch the Pro Late Model race at all. I just started getting texts of, Kaden Honeycutt won another one. And I was like, fuck's he running? Turns out he was an ace. And then, not to be outdone, he, by himself, he went out and won the late model stock race as well. So that's 4 wins in one weekend for Kaden Honeycutt.
4 for 4. Every race he entered, he won.
And 0 for 4 in shotgun attempts. He tried to do it again here. He was like poking at the bottom of the can and said, fuck it, and then just decided to dump it all over his head, which honestly is a much better move. And he got most of the beer in his mouth, pouring it from about with his arm fully extended. So nice little stone cold shout out there.
I just feel like if you're going to amp that up so much in advance, hey, as soon as I win my first race, I'm shotgunning beer, you should probably practice at home.
Yeah, do a little practicing. Call Caitlin Larson, watch some videos. Hell, if he needs help, I'll fly down there.
Call Uncle Rob.
Yeah, call me. I'll teach you how to shotgun a beer. But yeah, Kaden Honeycutt, this is absolutely historic what he was able to pull off. It's not going to get the credit it deserves outside of the short track world, but yeah, Kaden Honeycutt is no slouch when it comes to driving a race car. But like I said, if you need help with the shotgunning, just give us a call. We can give you some pointers. Landon Lewis wasn't too happy about it because I guess they he felt like Kaden didn't give him enough room or some shit like that. But that's how Landon races people. So he can join Jesse Love in the crying corner as far as I'm concerned.
Crying corner.
Jonathan Davenport and the Lance Landers team drove about 200 yards over to Batesville Speedway and swept the Bad Boy 98 weekend over there, becoming $20,000 richer. A lot of people giving him shit on the internet for cherry-picking events, but when you're Jonathan Davenport and you literally, it's a shorter walk to the racetrack than to the pisser at the race shop, why not? So good for JD. I got no problems with that. Cherry pick all you want, big man.
I think he's earned it.
On the flip side of doing cool shit and dirt late models, Greg Martin, I don't know if you guys saw this video, he runs in the, he ran in the Best Plumber 604 late model series, and out at I-75, I don't know what actually brought this on, but he was pissed at somebody who was parked in the work area. This guy cuts across the infield and just rams his car into these dudes and the car as they're working on it. These two guys go flying. Of course, his car gets swarmed. Somebody reaches into the car and pulls the plug wires out from behind him so he can't drive off. Somehow he gets it fired up and drives away, which is... You watching this shit?
He just rolled right over.
Yeah, I mean,
This looks like some Weber Valley shit.
It is some Weber Valley shit. And I don't know, man. We were laughing about it, but this is the absolute dumbest shit you could ever pull at a racetrack. Fuck
Now,
this guy.
I saw somewhere that he got arrested too for this.
Yep. So he got a 2-year suspension from the Best Plumber 604 late model series. Can't make this shit up. A 2-year suspension, which, I mean, he should never be invited back, as far as I'm concerned. But he also picked up an assault charge, so things not going too well for him. Hell of a mugshot from this clown too. But yeah,
Let's see that.
Irresponsible, dumb as fuck. There's Bowman Gray level of doing some fuck shit, and then there's this. This is well beyond that, I would say. So yeah, I'm glad to see he gets a 2-year break, and hopefully other tracks kind of follow suit here, because that kind of shit is unacceptable. In sad news in the sprint car world, at least for me anyway, Shark Racing has shut down the 1A team. Of course, that was Bobby Allen and Jacob Allen's team. Ashton Torgerson was running with them. I don't know if we talked about this last week, but Ashton was out of the ride. And now they've shuttered the team, which is a damn shame. Ashton is moving over to the Three Stooges 51 to complete his Outlaw rookie campaign. So he's not totally up a creek here, but definitely going to be weird to not see the 1A out there every week on the Outlaw Tour. And anyone who's given Jacob Allen shit for shuttering this thing for now, shut the fuck up. I mean, this guy's had a tough year. He's got a kid on the way. His dad just died. And Ashton wrecked a bunch of race cars. So what do you want him to do? I don't see any of you out there fucking welding shit back together. So lay off Jacob. He's a good dude. But yeah, again, damn shame to not be able to see that car out there, and hopefully they're able to get back out there at some point in the near future. And maybe Jacob will drive again. Who knows? Probably not, but it just ain't the same without that silver wing out there. One more piece of sad news. We got to give a shout out to Steve Mendoza, a Wheeler Modified Tour owner. Did a lot of work with Andy Jankowiak. He passed away over the weekend, and just an old school, old timer. Just one of the good guys, and yeah, he passed away. It's very, very, very sad that he's not here anymore, and sucks for Andy J for sure. After having such a good week or two there. But yeah, thoughts and prayers to everybody in the modified paddock, and to Steve's family. Sucks to see another one of the good old school guys go. But he's probably hauling an open trailer around with Wade Cole now up in the sky. So yeah, rest in peace, Steve. Do have some short track racing coming up this weekend as long as the weather holds out, but spring fucking sucks so far, so who knows. Lucas Oil's going to be at Eagle Raceway. That's always a good time. World of Outlaw late models and super dirt cars at Georgetown. Also,
yeah, I fucked up last week, folks. I'm just as disappointed as you guys are. Tim McCready, Bobby Pierce, and whoever else I said there. I thought they were all running the modifieds. I did not realize it was a dual main event. So,
well, Christopher Bell is running a big
yes.
block, which is pretty
Yes,
cool.
he is.
And not Donnie Allison, I was to say Clifford Allison. He's all right. Donnie Allison is definitely not driving either. But yeah, that'll be a cool event. That's on Dirt Vision. Also, a World of Outlaw late models at Selins Grove, Marion Center, and Bedford to wrap up the weekend. World of Outlaw Sprint Cars and USAC doing their annual doubleheader at Eldora. It's called Let's Race 2. That's on Flow Racing and Dirt Vision, so you don't have to pick a side in the great streaming war. You can watch it all. Maybe not the Outlaws. I don't know actually how that works, but USAC's going to be on both on Dirt Vision as well. That'll be good. And of course, my favorite, the NASCAR Wheel of Modified Tour, is going to be at Seekonk on Saturday if the rain holds off, and I think I should be there for that. Who knows? And of course, actually, I won't be at Claremont this weekend because I have a show. So don't come knock on the door because you won't find me. But that's it for the septic tank this week, and now we're going to pay tribute to one of the greatest of all time. Whoosh.
Man, this fucking mugshot is great.
Yeah, isn't it?
So this week we did a little history lesson on the recently passed Alex Zanardi, and going back to what Rob said earlier about how there aren't a lot of good IndyCar documentaries made. There needs to be one about Alex, because holy shit,
Yes.
like this whole story, I mean, I'm going to try to fire through it pretty fast because there's a lot to talk about, but man, this guy's story is amazing, just from start to finish, like all that he went through and accomplished, and, obviously ended tragically, but man, like...
It could have ended tragedy several times.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, this little 30-minute documentary about Alex Zanardi, starts off talking about, his beginnings. He was born in is it pronounced Bologna? I don't know how to pronounce.
Yeah.
Bologna. Okay. Yeah.
Not Bologna.
Wasn't born to a racing family or anything, like just had a normal family. He watched F1 with his dad. This led to him building his own quote-unquote race car, which was powered by his dog, and then later trying to build his own go-kart. First bit of tragedy in his life, his older sister died in a car accident at age 15. His parents became overprotective, which led to Alex kind of pulling back on a lot of the kid things that he was doing, because he didn't want his parents to go through that. He could tell he didn't want his parents to experience more tragedy, but they noticed this and they went the opposite direction and decided to buy him a go-kart. He was nervous at first after first going to the go-kart track and seeing how fast everybody was going, but the second he got in the car, he was addicted, and he made it his goal to be a racer for his career. And he obviously eventually did, but he started off creating this little team called the Unlucky Team with 3 other kids at the track, and his family supported him there. By the time he was a teenager, he joined the Italian karting championship circuit. He started getting some sponsorship. By 1985, he started winning titles both in Italy and just European national titles. But his family, only had so much money to support his racing career. However, he became friends with Max Pappas, and Max Pappas's dad, he had some money and had some, ties and stuff, and helped get him into Formula 3. From there, first year didn't do too well. Second year, he improved. By his third year, he started winning races. He ended up beating Michael Schumacher at a race. It was a DQ situation, but he still beat Michael Schumacher.
Who can say that?
By 1991, he moved up to Formula 3000, which I guess technically is Formula 2 now. He ended up winning there. He got second in the championship standings. He actually got a shot in F1 driving for Jordan. He at 3 races, he got 2 ninth place finishes. 1992, he became the test driver for Benetton. He got to fill in for Christian Fittipaldi for a few races, but the car was garbage and he didn't really do anything there. 1993, he got a full ride with Lotus, which interesting, side discussion here. That car had a fully independent suspension, and I thought it was interesting that when they went into pit stops, he parked over top of like a surfboard, and the wheels themselves lifted themselves off the ground as opposed to any sort of jack system. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, that was right before they banned active suspension in Formula One, and Lotus was at the end of their tenure as a team. They had fallen off pretty hard, and pretty common story in Alex's career where he would end up in a team right before it got really good, or right as it got really bad.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much his F1 career, but not to get ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah.
I just love the sponsor sticker that I kept seeing that looked like it said PP Jeans.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pepe jeans. I'll still see those. I'll still see those out thrifting sometimes.
Yeah. Also, that Jordan 7-Up car is one of my favorite looking Formula One cars of all time.
94, he got a full ride with Lotus, but he ended up getting replaced by the end of the season by a paid driver, and then Lotus was done by the end of that season. Also, unfortunately, another bit of tragedy. His dad died from cancer at age 54. 1995, he drove some European GT races, but he decided to look towards IndyCar. 96, he came over and got a ride with Ganassi. Won a pole in the second race and finished fourth, which was an oval, which obviously he wasn't used to driving over in Europe. By his ninth race, he ended up winning. That first season, he was the top point scorer in the second half of the season, third in points and the Rookie of the Year. 1997, he got $1 million contract, won in his third race. He did the first ever donut in IndyCar, and he became the Donut King. 5 wins that year.
He really brought that to the world, because you didn't see that before then.
I didn't really realize that, but interesting. He became the Donut King, and he won his first title. In 1998, he continued the success, 7 wins, 15 podiums, and a massive points lead over his teammate Jimmy Vasser to win his second straight title. However, he did experience some controversy. He was a bit of a rough driver at times. He ended up getting put on probation and got a $50,000 fine, and he decided to go back to F1 and drive for Williams. Williams was coming off a few great years, but he did not really do too well in 1999. He struggled. He was outperformed by his teammate Ralf Schumacher. So even though he had a 3-year contract, he decided to take 2000 off and just spend time with his family and kind of reevaluate his career. 2001, he came back over to kart, but he wasn't driving for Ganassi. He was driving for, I forget the name of the team, but it was Monun, like a ex-Ganassi people. Car wasn't very good. He didn't really experience the same success. And then they went to Germany, and this was a race he was finally starting to turn things around. He ended up starting last, but made his way to the lead. And this is when the unfortunate major tragedy happened, where he spun coming out of pit row and was hit by Alex Tagliani. This was a catastrophic wreck that he lost both of his legs and almost his life. But he did survive, and somehow, after losing half of your body, came out of it with an incredibly positive attitude and was just like, well,
now what?
I'm going to figure this out, figure out what to do, what I want to do. He did want to go back to race. He ended up driving sports cars. In 2003, he returned to Germany to finish the race that he didn't get to finish in 2001. He ran 13 laps with a specially modified car, and actually at full speed. These weren't just pace laps. So that was very cool and very inspiring to see. But yeah, he went back to touring cars. experienced a lot of success in the 2000s, won races, won titles, even got to get back in an F1 car at one point for some test laps. But also in 2007, he started hand cycling. And by 2009, he decided to leave automotive racing and just get into cycling. And he set his sights on the Olympics. 2012, he got gold medals, became a world champion, came back in 2016, won more medals. He broke a 2018 world record in the triathlon. And again, this is kind of where his story unfortunately ends. In 2020, at a race, he ended up crashing into a truck. Had some major, head injuries and facial injuries. 2022, back at home, there was some sort of malfunction with some of his medical equipment and caused a fire. That was another little setback. And unfortunately, this is where his story ends. This video is hopeful for his future and some sort of, return to public eye, but unfortunately, he passed away last week.
Yeah, that was a little tough ending there.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, not a whole lot of fun stuff to talk about in this video, but again, incredibly inspiring and very interesting. I only knew, obviously, about his IndyCar stuff. I was at least conscious of what was going on in the IndyCar world at that point in time. But I didn't really know his entire story. Obviously, I heard little bits and pieces. And, yeah, they could make a 5-hour documentary about Alex, and I'd watch every second of it because there's just so much here that could be expanded on. So I really enjoyed this little history lesson, and I'd imagine you guys did too.
Yeah, I'll go first because I'm sure I have a lot less to say than Rob because this is more his area. But, I really didn't know much about him at all except the highlights, and this documentary really just kind of breezed through his career super fast and just barely touched on everything. So like you said, a super in-depth documentary about him would be a really great watch, but it did get me emotional a couple times. Watching him go back and run those last 13 laps was just so crazy. And then to see him get emotional on the Olympic podium too, like his whole story was just so inspiring and insane. So good pick. I learned a lot.
Yeah. You've heard all these individual stories about Alex. The accident, obviously, him being a champion. And one thing I did enjoy about this is that the pass that he's most famous for in IndyCar at Laguna Seca was just in the intro and not even acknowledged as what everyone knows him for, which I thought that was a nice choice. But what I was getting at was you've heard all these individual stories, but to see them all kind of placed in order as a complete piece, it really just puts into perspective how much of a absolute fucking badass Alex Zanardi was.
Yeah.
When he came on the scene, I was already like, there was, IndyCar was in my blood at that point. Like I was obsessed, and he was the new guy. And it was so exciting because, this is in the era of Jeff Gordon and NASCAR as well. All these new faces were showing up and dominating and putting their stake in the ground. And Zanardi was the next one because we had Jacques Villeneuve a couple years prior.
Yep.
And he went off to Williams. And then Zanardi came in, and I was like, holy fuck, this is the guy, And then just, again, even then you knew that he was something a little bit different than a lot of the guys we'd seen before. I was sad to see him go to F1, but, I thought he was going to be the next Jacques over there because Villeneuve did the exact same thing. He left for Williams and won a world championship almost straight away, and I expected the same out of Alex, but of course that's when Williams started to fall off, and I hated to see that. But not to ramble on forever because this guy is a hero of mine. But this is a nice little piece for sure. This guy does make good content. What was his name? Steve Mansell, I think.
I can't remember, but I mean, he mentioned he was a racer himself, which I thought that was.
Yeah, he did he did some like feeder series kind of stuff in sports cars. He raced in the Indy Pro Series for a little bit. No relation to Nigel Mansell. He's just another English guy with the last name Mansell. But I'll be checking out more of his content. This is really good.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, also if you want more details, if you need them. About Alex's crash at the Lausitz Ring in Germany. There actually is a good IndyCar documentary called Rapid Response about the safety team, Dr. Terry Trammell and Steve Olvey, and they go in depth of what it took to save Alex's life on the racetrack, and it's a hard watch, but I highly recommend that documentary. It was on Netflix for a while. It was on Prime for a while. It kind of bounces around. I bet it's probably on fucking Tubi or something, but I highly recommend watching Rapid Response if you can find it. But yeah,
the one doctor in this documentary that said that when he got there, he slipped and fell on his hands and knees, and he thought it was oil, but he looked down and it was his blood.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit! And then of course my dumbass had to Google pictures of this accident, and I immediately regretted it.
Oh, it's
meaty.
It's gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that he survived that is just a testament to how tough this motherfucker was.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, what a hero.
Fuck.
What a hero.
What a badass.
Well, definitely swinging back in the more fun direction with the video week this week.
That's good.
As we mentioned, you know.
Got another bedspread with diecast sitting on it?
No. So, you know, obviously this weekend, NASCAR's in Dover. All three series will be there. It's the All-Star race, and it is, again, the probably the least excited for an All-Star race I've ever been in my life, and I'm sure just about everybody in NASCAR feels the same way.
Same, yeah.
The worst of all possible worlds.
Yeah, and really, you know, one thing that, you know, even the last few years, I mean, the whole pomp and circumstance of this All-Star event, especially when you go back to the 90s and 2000s, it's kind of all been stripped away. And, you know, I think, you know, when you factor in the Clash, too, and how they're almost kind of the same fucking race at this point, and there's really nothing special about either one of the races. But we're going to go back to 2009. So I'm going to give a shout-out to Awful Racing on Twitter. He's a very fun follow, posts a lot of silly NASCAR content, and he posted a few screenshots a few weeks ago of the Pennzoil Victory Challenge, which was some sort of burnout competition as part of the 2009 All-Star race lead-up. This aired as part of the NASCAR Race Day shows. So the video itself is 2 hours long. We're only focusing, you know, an hour 30 in is when the burnout stuff starts. I'm going to watch the whole thing because this is my type of shit, and I'll probably take some notes on the rest of it. But for you guys, if you don't want to do that, just starts an hour 30 in, and it's like 30-40 minutes.
Perfect.
But
I'll be out of town, so I will be watching the last 30 minutes.
I'll see you at the timestamp, Truelove.
But one of the reasons I picked this was the screenshot he posted is of the judges, and the judges for this event are Jimmy Spencer, Kevin Costner, Eddie Montgomery, Troy Gentry, Randy Moss, and Ric Flair. And I will say, I believe this was the year they made like a wrestling-themed poster for this event. And at the very beginning of the video, there is like a 2-minute Ric Flair promo that you have to see also. So watch that and then skip to the actual burnout competition. So that's what we're gonna watch for video of the week this week. So I think it'll be a fun one.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that pretty much wraps it up. As always, you can follow us on Instagram and YouTube at meetmeatapplebees. I am Speedway Screens on all the things. SpeedwayTSJ.etsy.com is the shop, and MMA Applebees at checkout for 15% off.
Still Snake Mountain, Truelove. I will not be watching that much racing this weekend. We'll be out of town. The band that Andy works for, Blackberry Smoke, is doing their annual 3-day their 3-night event at the Shed in Maryville, Tennessee.
Hell yeah.
And their annual bike ride for Britt Turner. So I will be there, not watching this Dover bullshit. I'll watch the highlights, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm jealous. I've always wanted to go to that. So
It's fun. It's a good spot.
have a $10 beer for me.
I get the free beers there, so it's make up for all my losses this past weekend.
And no T-Pain, unfortunately, but who can afford that? RobMotes_unofficial on Instagram. My band's called These Wild Plains, and I mentioned earlier that I will not be at Claremont this weekend because I have a show, and that show is at the Shade Theater in Turners Falls, Massachusetts. It is the first show of what I imagine will be many shows with Charlie Marie to promote her new record that's coming out at sometime in June. It seems like a cool event. It's called Twang Club. This guy's doing this whole country residency thing. Kind of reminds me of some stuff that me and Ben from Plains used to do.
Yeah.
But with just some extra steps here, which is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. Rosie Porter's also playing, so that's going to be a good show. And that's this Friday, May 15th. So if you're anywhere in the Western Mass area, come say what's up. We'll have a beer together. As long as it's not $10.
No. Fucking Michelob Ultras, $10.
Make Ultra.
Yeah.
Or at least the big ones.
They were big, but
Yeah.
just big cans of water.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, with that, the check is here. So thanks for joining us again at Applebee's, and we'll talk to you all next week.